And if you implement those 5 fundamentals into your organization, I'm confident that you will grow top and bottom line, because companies choose to do business with companies that know what they're good at, that continually strive to be good at it and have the talent to deliver it.
To date, Steve has led over 1,000 strategy and talent planning sessions across hundreds of industries, as well as provided coaching to thousands of leaders. He lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where he was named Business Person of the Year. Oh, and for the record, his favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip cookie dough.
Welcome back to Stop the Vanilla. I'm Steve Van Remortel. I want to welcome all of our faithful listeners and followers to our Strategy and Talent podcast. And our number one objective of our podcast is to help you achieve what you want. To help you achieve what you want in your business, your career, and your life with the right strategy implemented with the right talent. It's that simple. It's about having the right plan and the right talent. In fact, there is nothing you can't achieve with the right plan implemented by the right talent. In your business, it maybe is about building a company that you can sell for retirement. You do that by having the right plan and the right talent. In your career, it's about loving what you do for a living. And you can accomplish that with the right plan and the right talent. And in your life, it's about living the life you want. And that can be accomplished with the right plan and the right talent. So you're seeing a little bit of a trend here, right? It's simple. You can achieve whatever you want with the right plan and the right talent. Today in our podcast, we're going to focus on what we call the 5 pillars of strategy and talent. And these really apply in optimizing the strategy and talent for your business. Now, I've completed the Stop Selling Vanilla Ice Cream process hundreds of times and really have boiled it down to these 5 pillars. And if you implement these 5 pillars into your organization, into your business, you are going to achieve what you want. You're going to achieve that vision. You're going to achieve your goals. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, you will achieve by implementing these 5 pillars. And so the first one really was the birth of Stop Selling Vanilla Ice Cream. I was working with a lot of organizations and they were selling vanilla. And so we started talking about, how do you sell your mint chocolate chip? How do you define what your customers, or why your customers are going to choose to do business with you? I mean, fundamentally, every day as consumers, we make that decision. We choose to go to certain stores and certain restaurants because they provide us something that we can't get from someone else. I mean, that's the why. So why is a customer going to choose you over your competition? And again, we like to call it your mint chocolate chip. And really the defining your competence, as we call it, and becoming the best at your competence is really founded on what we call your foundational strengths. Your foundational strengths are the strengths of the organization that you do the best, that are your greatest strengths, and they become potentially the foundation for your competence. So in my last company I ran, it was a food company, and our strength was changing the lines quickly. We could change over a food processing line very quickly, and our strength was in our maintenance. Our strength was in our maintenance processes, our changeover processes, and the skill sets we had on our maintenance team. And so the top 100 branded food companies loved that differentiation, because they could call us on a Monday morning and say, we got hammered on the Amaretto hot chocolate last night. We need you to switch the line over. That's something they could not do. Their lines ran 24/7, 365, but we became experts in switching our lines over. So that became our why. That was why a customer chose to do business with us versus a competitor. And we grew from 5 to 30 million in 4.5 years because of that differentiation. I can tell you, one of the most important things you can do for your business is to find why a customer is going to choose you versus a competitor, and then put action plans in place to keep coming better and better at that. The difference of selling and delivering in a vanilla ice cream business versus a business that is clearly differentiated is night and day. It's the difference between struggling to grow and add new customers to having more business than you know what to do with. They just keep coming in. So the number one pillar of strategy and talent is defining your competence, defining your mint chocolate chip, and becoming the best at it, striving to be the best at it at all times. So the number one pillar is defining the why. The next one, the next fundamental is really making your differentiation tangible. It's proving that you are the best at what you do. Now, the first thing I recommend an organization be good at or do first is really define that differentiation, and then really work at building that differentiation, and then eventually measuring the tangible value of it becomes natural. The value may be how much the value that it delivers your customers, what your competence does for your customers. Excuse me, how can you measure that? How can you prove that you are the best at it? There's a lot of what we call blowhards out there. Blowhards are companies that say they're the best at what they do, but they provide little to no proof to that. And so as you work on building your competence and becoming the best at what you do and increasing the why a customer is going to choose business with you, also start putting metrics around that and proving the tangible value. So the first pillar is defining that differentiation and working to become the best at it. And then the second one is really proving the tangible value of it, so that when you're sitting across from that customer and that customer says, why should I choose you? You can say, here's why, because we prove what we deliver to you. All right, the third fundamental is department planning. And the reason department planning is a fundamental is because that's about working on the business. Department plans, every department has a department plan, and in it are 3 or 5 action plans they're going to get done over the next 2 to 3 months to work on the business. So, and we talk about taking department plans in sprints. So doing a 3-month sprint or a 4-month or a 6-month sprint of working on specific action plans to work on the business. So for example, let's say working on the business, say you create a process to onboard a new customer. That is on the business. You're creating a process. Working in the business is onboarding a new customer using the process. So department plans all across your organization have these action plans that they're getting done simultaneously. And as each department's checking off those action plans, the success of the organization, the speed or the flywheel of the organization just accelerates. And so department planning is where the work gets done to advance the strategy, to achieve the vision. Department planning is a fundamental, because without it, we talk a lot about strategy, but nothing really gets done. So department planning is about working on the business. Here at STV Advisors and Stop the Vanilla, we do 4-month sprints. So we develop action plans to work on the business for 4 months. We have goals that our annual goals, and then we have those 4-month sprints we do 3 times a year. And every 4 months, we update our action plans and keep moving closer to achieving those goals, keep moving closer to achieving the vision. And I just find, when I first started doing this over 20 years ago, we used to plan those action plans across a year or 12 months. And that seems, in today's world, as fast-paced as it is, and as much as it's changing, it felt like that it was too far to plan for. People struggle to get their arms around, thinking of an action plan they're going to complete 9 months from now. So we really focus that in on doing these sprints. And you can do 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, whatever works best for your organization. Here we do it in 4-month sprints 3 times a year. And then we meet monthly for plan execution, which that's a great segue into one of the fourth fundamental, and that's plan execution. And that's really about getting together on a consistent basis and making sure that we're getting things done that we agreed to. Every action plan to work on the business has an owner and a due date, and making sure that we're meeting to check those things off and that there's accountability in the organization. High performance teams desire and expect accountability. And so getting together monthly, everybody knows that their action plans are going to be reviewed. The ones that are due are going to be reviewed on a monthly basis, and so those action plans will get done. And if they don't get done on a consistent basis by one individual, you've just identified some type of challenge or personnel issue that will be made much easier for you to deal with because you're meeting monthly, and really that person will likely come to you and say, hey, I'm struggling to get these done for this reason or that reason. So plan execution is a fundamental and a pillar of strategy and talent, because we have to continue to execute and get things done to move towards that vision. So the first fundamental was really defining your differentiation and the why a customer is going to choose to do business with you. The second one is making that differentiation tangible. And you do that through your sales and your marketing efforts, through your sales and marketing tools, your websites. You're using metrics to show that you're the best at what you do. The third one is department planning, and that's really where the rubber hits the road. That's about getting things done on the business, not in the business. And that really accelerates the success of your organization. The fourth one is plan execution, and that's meeting on a consistent basis to make sure those department plans are getting carried out and looking at our metrics and making sure we're moving numerically or financially towards that financial vision that we put out there, those goals that we put out there. And the last fundamental is talent. And talent is the number one challenge facing companies today, the number one issue. Not only finding enough talent, but finding the right talent. And a hiring process can take longer these days because, you're looking for a certain skill set that may take a little bit more time for you to find. So talent management really is about identifying, selecting, developing, retaining, and training the talent you need to deliver that mint chocolate chip, to deliver that competency we talked about, and to help you achieve that vision that you have set out there. It is, for years, when I first started STV Advisors 20 years ago, 1999, for years strategy was our number one, revenue. We did more strategy and talent. The last 6 years, strategy continues to grow, but talent has just blew past strategy from the standpoint of revenue because more companies than ever before are investing in their talent. You have to. I know of companies that have lines that are shut down because they do not have enough talent. And so if you are not being proactive in your talent, if you are not taking it to the talent challenge you have, then you're getting it taken to you. If you're not winning the battle, you're losing on talent because it is fierce. And I want to encourage you to implement talent management processes to identify, select, and retain the talent you need. 2 simple things that you can do on the talent side. Have a consistent hiring process. Just define the steps of a hiring process and stick to it. So real quickly, the first step in a hiring process, you sort through the resumes and you make sure that you rank them by hard skill. Does the person have the hard skill to do the job? So the person that has the greatest hard skills to do the job, education and experience, and just the hard skills, the technical skills they bring to the table. Then you do interviews of those top 3 or 4 candidates just to understand the hard skills, work through their resume from the bottom. And then you have them take the behavioral science assessments. And then you do a customized interviewing. And that's really one of the hottest things right now in talent management is really focused interviewing. Every interview is different because every candidate is different. And so that's a very simple but effective hiring process that we use here at STV Advisors. And then one of the other easy things to do is to make sure that there's one development action plan in place for each team member to grow. So what's a conference they could attend? What's training they could attend? What's a class they could take to take your talent to the next level? Because really the objective with talent management is every year our collective talent keeps getting better and better. And so each year we take a step to grow each person in our organization, and that collective growth supports your growth as an organization. So those are the 5 fundamentals: competence, making your competence tangible, department planning, plan execution, and talent management. And if you implement those 5 fundamentals into your organization, I'm confident that you will grow top and bottom line, because companies choose to do business with companies that know what they're good at, that continually strive to be good at it and have the talent to deliver it. If you have any questions on how to implement these 5 pillars of strategy and talent in your organization, please go to our website at stopthevanilla.com, and there's all kinds of resources, free templates on the resources page. Matter of fact, all the templates to do any of our processes are on the resources page, and you can download theirs and do it yourself. We would love for you to complete these processes yourself in your organization, but if we can bring you value along the way, please reach out to us at info@stopthevanilla.com. I hope this podcast brought you an idea of where you can improve your organization and implement these 5 pillars of strategy and talent. And until next time, we look forward to seeing you again at Stop the Vanilla.
I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by. Oh my, I'm your ice cream man, stop me when I'm passing by.